Welcome to EliteGuitarist.com. My name is Ines. And today I will show you how to play the famous Canon in D by Pachelbel. This is a classic and really a standard tune played at many weddings, and I'm sure you all know it. It has beautiful melodies and it has a chord progression which runs through the whole piece. Originally, the piece was composed for 3 violins and basso continuo. That means it was accompanied, for example, with a cello and a harpsichordist playing the bass line and the chord progression all the time, repeating it. So the canon was probably written in the late 17th century, but we don't know for sure. We only know that it was paired with a gigue, which is a fast dance, but we just hear the canon by itself. So when we play the piece on the guitar, we cannot play all notes at all time because it was written for so many players. So we have to make an adaptation, or what we call an arrangement of the piece. So in the arrangement, I will show you there will be 12 variations. It starts with the chord progression and then the variations come in. And the original has more variations, but as we have to fit it on the guitar, there will be 12. Enjoy. So we will start with the first variation. Each of the variations is based on the same chord progression, so they are all the same length. They are all 4 measures long with 2 different chords each. So we will start with the first variation. This is bar 1. So we start with a D major chord because this piece starts in D and ends in D. And by the way, we are in D tuning. So you want to drop your 6th string down to D. That way we have a wide variety of sound and a really nice ring and a nice sustain to the whole guitar. So we start with this D major chord in the 7th position. You just put a bar over the first 3 strings on the 7th fret, and then the D here on the 10th fret on the 1st string. And then you just block the chords. You can also arpeggiate the chords and interchange those. Don't always play them all blocked or play them all arpeggiated. I just arpeggiate them for now to make you hear every note. So we start. It's the first chord D major. Then we go to A major. This time we play the A major up here in the 9th position. So you play the open A, and then it's basically like the D shape, you know the D shape from the 2nd position. You just put it in the 9th position. That's A major. Now we go to the B minor chord. For this one we need the bar again on the 7th fret. But now, remember we are in D tuning, so we don't have the B on the 7th fret, we have it on the 9th fret. So put the 3rd finger on the 9th fret and have the bar over the 7th fret, and then you pluck 6 and 3, 2, 1. To me it's more comfortable to have the bar, to have the 1st finger barring the whole 6 strings, but we only need those 3. But this is just a little uncomfortable for me. So I like to really put the finger over all strings. Now the 4th chord is an F sharp minor chord. We go in the 4th position. This is our F sharp. And now we have the C sharp 6th fret, F sharp and A. Now the 5th chord of the chord progression is a G major chord. So here's our G, remember the tuning, and you put a little bar. So we need those 2 strings barred on the 3rd fret and then the 2nd finger here. And again, this would be not so comfortable if I play it like this. But if I bar all strings, and I'm not even pressing up here. I don't know if you can see that well. So my finger is actually lifting. So I'm just pressing the 2 top strings for this G chord. And now we go to a D major chord, just a normal D major chord. We can use the low D string in the bass, which is very nice. And then we go back to our G chord. This time there is no bar, so we just play this G and this G and pluck the 3rd, 2nd and 1st string. So the G chord, and then we go to an A major chord. So let's go over this chord progression. It's always the same as I said in the beginning. So we start D major, go to A major in the 9th position, go to B minor in the 7th position, go to F sharp minor in the 4th position, and then move to G major with the barre chord, and then to D major, just regular D major, and back to G major but without the bar, and end on the dominant chord A major. And this is the first variation. That's all what's to it. And really the bass, so the fingers always stay on the first 3 strings and the thumb just moves with whatever bass note. It's either the 6th string or the 5th string in this case. So here again a little faster, just without the arpeggiated, just the first 4 measures, the first variation. Starts again with D. That's the beginning of the 2nd variation. So now we move to the 2nd variation. It's the same chords, but they are in different positions. So now we are mostly in the 2nd position and not that high up. Here, that will be the part where the first violin comes in. And the first violin plays this melody in the beginning, an F sharp, an E, D, C sharp, B, A, B, and C sharp. So it's very, very simple. It's just this descending part of a D major scale, and then at the back it goes back up. So what I just did is really good for you to practice, because you're gonna play this melody with the ring finger. So really go ahead and just practice that melody and try to get a warm and nice sound with your A finger in the right hand. Just playing this little melody and get a feel for this ring finger. If you like to use rest stroke, that is fine too. I don't really do that in this case, but you could just practice that with rest stroke and really play it in rest stroke. And so on. The rest stroke only works for the 2nd variation. In the 3rd variation we would have to change that. So it's up to you, both works just totally fine. Now we take the chords and play everything together. So just put down the full D major chord, and we start by plucking the thumb on the 4th string and our ring finger, and And now we just arpeggiate the rest of the chords. So 3, 2, 1. Again this chord, thumb and ring together, then I, M, A. Now we move to the next chord, same thing, the melody and the thumb together. So now we are on an A major chord. So we have the melody note high E, so the open E string. You can put down the A major chord already, but we just plug 5th string and 1st string. And now we arpeggiate again. 3, 2, 1. So here the first measure, D major, A major. Now we move measure 2 to our B minor chord. You can really put down the full B minor chord shape. We don't need the bar because we are not plucking the 1st string. So no bar, just this chord shape. And we start, it's the same concept. So we start with the ring finger and the thumb, but the ring finger now is on the 2nd string. And then we arpeggiate 4, 3, 2. Now we move in bar 2, 2nd half, again to our F sharp minor chord. So here we need a bar. And the same in variation, in the first variation, when I barred a lot of times with my used the whole bar for over all 6 string, I do the same thing here in the F sharp minor in the 2nd position. Even though I only need strings 3 and 2 to be barred, I prefer just putting the whole bar down. If you have a preference just playing it like this is fine too. So this is really just my preference. So we bar 2nd fret, and then again our F sharp is on the 4th fret. And we need another F sharp on the 4th fret of the D string. So you have this shape. And then same idea, ring and thumb together. And then I, M, A. So just the bar number 2, the 2nd variation, B minor. And F sharp minor. Now bar number 3 is we go back to G major. So this is we just need to hold the G here with the 4th finger on the 5th fret and pluck the 2nd string for the melody note, thumb and ring finger, then I, M, and A. And now we go to a D major chord. We're not taking the simple one here, we are taking the one lower. So this is a really good D major chord, like we need that all the time as well when we play guitar. We don't need the full thing with the bar, we just need the 1st finger on the 3rd string, 3rd finger on the 4th string, and the pinky on the 5th string. So just that's all we need. And then the ring finger now moves down to the 3rd string. So again, thumb and ring. Back to G, same, now we are in bar number 4, same G major chord as in bar number 3. And now we go to a just normal A major chord. So here's our full 2nd variation, starting with D major. A major, B minor, and F sharp minor, G major, D major, G you probably heard this was the same chord progression as we had in the first variation. And this just stays consistently throughout the piece. So in this case, it's really good to just practice the right hand by itself, because it's just repeating the same thing over and over. So you have thumb and ring together. And you really want to bring out that ring finger, because that's your melody note. And then this arpeggio follows. And this arpeggio is really just an accompaniment. So what is important is the bass and the ring finger. And then this is soft. So that way we can bring out the melody nicely. I exaggerated a little bit, so I really brought out the melody a lot. Eventually you want to make it a little more smooth, but it's a good way to practice that, because if you are able to bring out that melody really loudly, it's always easy to just play it a little less. But it's kind of hard if you don't practice like that to bring it out. So one thing is a little tricky, and that's the change from the B minor chord to the F sharp minor chord. So now we need to really think what is important. And important is that our second finger, the melody note, rings as long as possible. Even though we will eventually pluck it again. You really need to have that connected, going to this F sharp minor chord. So what I want you to do is move the third and the fourth finger already to the F sharp minor, while the second finger is still on the second string, holding this D down, our melody note. So here is what I'm doing. 3 and 4 already go in the direction, and now is the switch. One more time. Lift 3 and 4 now. That way the melody stays connected and there is not like a shift. If you just like lift everything at the same time, there will be a gap. We want to try to avoid this gap between the notes. So this was the second variation.